Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something important today: heartbreak, disappointment, and power. When a man hurts you, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. And if you choose the second option, here's how you confuse him like a queen, like a boss, like you. When someone hurts you, especially someone you trusted, the pain can feel unbearable. It's like the ground beneath you has shifted, and suddenly everything that once felt stable is now uncertain. The easy thing to do is to break down, to let the hurt consume you, to replay every conversation in your head, searching for what went wrong. You may feel the urge to cry endlessly, to question your worth, or to believe that somehow you weren't enough. But let me tell you something: you are more than enough. And this moment, this is your turning point. See, he expects you to crumble. He expects you to drown in sadness, to be stuck in memories of him, to become a shadow of yourself. He wants to believe that he had that kind of power over you, but the truth is, the only power he ever had was the one you gave him. And now you're taking it back. The best way to respond to heartbreak is not with tears, not with anger, and definitely not with revenge. It's with growth. It's with an unshakable determination to rise above the pain and become the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. Because when someone walks away from you, betrays you, or underestimates you, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And that lesson is simple: you deserve better and you will become better. So what does leveling up look like? It means taking all that energy you were ready to pour into him and redirecting it towards yourself. It means focusing on your goals, your dreams, and your passions. It means becoming so consumed with building the life you deserve that the thought of him fades into irrelevance. You don't have time to be sad over someone who couldn't see your worth when you're busy creating a future where your worth is undeniable. Wake up every day with a purpose. If you were thinking about going back to school, do it now. If you wanted to start that business, now is the time. If you've been putting off your self-care, make it a priority. Every single action you take towards bettering yourself is a silent message to the world and to him that you were never defined by his presence and you will not be broken by his absence. And let's talk about confidence. Heartbreak has a way of making you doubt yourself, of making you feel like you weren't enough. But here's a fact: you were always enough. The way he treated you was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of his ability to recognize it. And if he failed to see the incredible woman in front of him, that's on him. Your job is not to convince him of your value. Your job is to own it, to embrace it, to walk like you are the prize, because you are. You want to confuse him? Glow up, not just on the outside, but on the inside too. Let your energy be so radiant, your confidence so unshaken, that when he sees you again, he doesn't just see a woman he once knew, he sees a woman he can never have again. Because you're not just moving on, you're moving up. And here's the best part: when you focus on yourself, when you truly level up, you won't even care about confusing him. You won't care if he regrets losing you, if he wonders how you became so strong. Because by then, his opinion won't matter. The only thing that will matter is that you took a moment of pain and turned it into power. So don't break down. Rise, grow, transform. Because the best revenge is not proving him wrong. It's proving yourself unstoppable. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons you have, and yet so many people underestimate it. When a man hurts you, your first instinct might be to react, to scream, to demand answers, to make him feel the pain he caused you. You might want to post something on social media, call him to confront him, or make sure he knows exactly what he lost. But let me tell you something: your silence will haunt him more than your words ever could. People expect a reaction when they hurt you. They want to see that they had an impact, whether good or bad. If you cry, if you beg for closure, if you let your emotions spill all over the place, you're giving them exactly what they want: proof that they mattered. But when you go silent, when you don't give them even a hint of your pain, that's when they start to wonder. That's when they begin to question their own importance in your life. See, silence is uncomfortable. It leaves space for uncertainty, for overthinking, for doubt. When you stop responding, he starts replaying everything in his head. He expects an argument, but you give him indifference. He expects to see you breaking down, but instead you're nowhere to be found. And that drives people insane. More than that, silence gives you power over your own emotions. It keeps you in control. Reacting in anger or sadness gives the other person the ability how you dictate how you feel. But when you choose silence, you are making a statement without ever having to say a word. You are showing that you are unaffected, unshaken, and uninterested. And let's talk about energy. You have a limited amount of it, and where you choose to spend it is everything. Why waste it on someone who didn't respect you? Why give him the satisfaction of knowing that his actions still have a hold on you? Instead of using your energy to react, use it to heal, to grow, to move forward. Silence also forces him to face himself. When you argue with someone, you give them an easy way out. They can blame you, twist your words, or manipulate the situation to make themselves feel better. But when you say nothing, they are left with their own thoughts. They have to sit with the weight of their own actions without your help to justify them. And trust me, that's far more powerful than any speech you could ever give. The beauty of silence is that it's a statement all on its own. It says, I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to prove anything. I don't need your validation. I am simply done. And when a man realizes that you are truly done, not playing games, not seeking revenge, but just completely and utterly uninterested, that's when he will feel the loss the most. So let him wonder. Let him question. Let him regret. But don't give him the satisfaction of knowing what's going on in your mind. Because the truth is, when you master the art of silence, you master the art of control. And that is a power no one can take from you. When someone breaks your heart, the world expects you to fall apart. They expect you to drown in sadness, to stop taking care of yourself, to disappear into the shadows of your own pain. But you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to shine. You're going to glow so brightly that he won't just see the light, he'll feel it. There is something incredibly powerful about a woman who refuses to let heartbreak dim her light. When a man walks away, he expects you to lose your confidence, to stop dressing up, to isolate yourself from the world. He expects to see the pain in your eyes, to hear the sadness in your voice. And when you don't give him that, when you walk into a room looking like a goddess, a queen, completely untouched by his absence, that's when he realizes what he lost. But here's the thing, you're not shining to prove a point. You're not glowing just to make him regret his choices. You're doing it because you owe it to yourself. Because your beauty, your confidence, and your power were never tied to him in the first place. He was just a small chapter in your book, not the whole story. And the best way to show that you have moved on is to shine like you never loved him at all. This means taking care of yourself in every way possible. Start with your mind, because confidence starts from within. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend. Remind yourself every day that you are beautiful, strong, and worthy. Do not let his actions make you question your value. A man's inability to see your worth has nothing to do with you and everything to do with him. Then take care of your body, not for him, but for you. Go to the gym, dance, take up yoga, do whatever makes you feel alive and powerful. When you look in the mirror, you should see a woman who radiates strength, not sadness. A woman who is thriving, not just surviving. When you glow from the inside out, there is no force in this world that can dim your shine. And let's talk about your presence. Walk into every space like you own it. Hold your head high, make eye contact, and let the world feel your energy. When you move through life with confidence, people notice. And yes, he will notice. He will see you smiling, laughing, living your best life, and he will wonder, was he ever really that important? Was he ever truly needed? The answer? No. The most powerful thing you can do after heartbreak is to live so fully, so beautifully, so unapologetically that your happiness is undeniable. You don't need to post sad quotes, send emotional texts, or prove anything to anyone. Your happiness is the only response necessary. And here's the beautiful truth. When you shine like you never loved him, you start to believe it yourself. You start to realize that maybe, just maybe, this heartbreak was a blessing in disguise. That losing him wasn't actually a loss, it was a redirection, a push towards something greater, something better, something worthy of you. So keep shining, not for him, not for revenge, but for yourself. Because a woman who shines without looking back is a woman who is truly free. When a man hurts you, the last thing you should do is make yourself easily accessible to him. He expects you to wait, to linger, to be there just in case he ever decides to return. But you're not an option. You're not a backup plan. You're the prize, and the best way to show that is to become completely, unapologetically unavailable. See, men have a way of thinking they can come and go as they please. They assume that just because you love them once, you'll always be there. That no matter what they did, no matter how they treated you, they can walk back into your life whenever they're ready. But that only happens if you allow it. The moment you show him that your world doesn't revolve around him, that you have moved forward, evolved, grown beyond him, that's when he feels the real loss. Becoming unavailable isn't just about ignoring his calls or blocking him on social media, though that's definitely an option. It's about shifting your entire mindset. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and love are precious, and you're no longer wasting them on someone who didn't appreciate them. The first step, stop waiting. You don't wait for his texts, his apologies, his realizations. You don't wait for the day he suddenly understands your worth, because here's the truth, you already know your worth. And if he couldn't see it when he had you, that's his problem, not yours. While he's out there thinking he still has access to you, you're out there building a life where he's no longer needed. Fill your time with things that make you better. Take on new hobbies, meet new people, set new goals. The busier you're becoming the best version of yourself, the less space you'll have for someone who didn't value you. And trust me, he'll notice, because when he finally looks for you, when he finally realizes what he lost, you'll be too far ahead for him to catch up. Your unavailability should extend beyond just physical presence, it should be emotional too. Don't allow him to occupy space in your mind. Don't replay old memories, don't wonder if he misses you, don't sit around hoping he changes. The more you detach, the stronger you become. When you refuse to engage, when you show no reaction, when you act like he never existed, he will feel it. Because silence, indifference, those things are louder than any words you could ever say. And when he tries to come back, and trust me, he will stay unavailable. No, let's talk, no, maybe we can work it out. He lost the privilege of having access to you the moment he hurt you. And by the time he realizes what he had, you'll be too busy living your best life to even care. Because the moment you choose yourself over him, you win, and nothing is more powerful than a woman who is completely, unquestionably unavailable to the man who once took her for granted. Loving yourself is not just a quiet, personal journey. It should be loud, bold, and unapologetic. When someone hurts you, the most powerful thing you can do is turn all that love you were ready to give them back to yourself. Not in whispers, not in hesitation, but in a way so undeniable that the world, and most importantly, you, can see just how worthy, valuable, and extraordinary you are. So many times after heartbreak, people shrink. They feel unworthy, unwanted, or not enough. They start questioning themselves, replaying every moment, wondering if they could have done something differently. But the truth is, loving yourself louder means refusing to let someone else's inability to appreciate you define how you see yourself. It means rejecting the idea that your value was ever tied to their presence in your life. It means taking every ounce of love you were willing to give them and making yourself the center of it instead. Start by speaking to yourself differently. No more self-doubt, no more negative thoughts about what went wrong. Replace "I wasn't enough" with "I was more than enough, and the right person will see that." Replace "maybe I should have tried harder" with "I gave my best and I deserve someone who matches my effort." Speak to yourself like someone you deeply love. Because the relationship you have with yourself will always be the most important one. Then take care of yourself in every way possible. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Eat better, move your body, get enough rest. Not because you're trying to look good for someone else, but because you deserve to feel your best. Fill your mind with positivity. Read books that inspire you. Listen to music that lifts you up. Spend time with people who genuinely love and support you. Protect your peace. If something disrupts your energy, walk away. No explanations needed. Loving yourself louder also means refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It means setting higher standards, not just for relationships, but for how people treat you, for the way you allow yourself to be spoken to, for the kind of life you demand for yourself. Make this yours. You are no longer available for bare minimum love, half-hearted efforts, or situations that drain your energy. You are choosing yourself fully and unapologetically. And don't just love yourself quietly, celebrate yourself. Wear the outfit that makes you feel unstoppable. Take yourself on dates, travel, explore, try new things. Stop waiting for someone to show you love and start giving it to yourself in ways so grand that no one else's love ever feels like a necessity, only a bonus. Because the moment you love yourself louder, something magical happens. You stop seeking validation from others. You stop craving attention from people who don't deserve you. You realize that the love you've been waiting for, it was always inside you. And when you finally see that, when you finally embrace yourself completely, that's when you become truly unstoppable. When a man hurts you, there's one thing he secretly hopes for: a reaction. He wants to know that he had an impact, that his absence has shaken you, that you're somewhere crying, missing him, and waiting for him to come back. It feeds his ego to think that he still has a hold on you, that no matter what he did, you're still emotionally tied to him. But the most powerful thing you can do? Never give him the satisfaction. The moment you show him that his actions affected you, that you're upset, heartbroken, or longing for him, you're giving him exactly what he wants. Proof that he mattered. But when you refuse to react, when you move on with grace, confidence, and indifference, you strip away his power completely. And trust me, nothing is more frustrating to someone who expected to see you broken than watching you thrive instead. This doesn't mean you're not hurt. It doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It simply means that you refuse to let that pain be visible to the one who caused it. Because the truth is, your silence, your strength, and your ability to move forward without hesitation are far louder than any words you could ever say. So what does it look like to never give him the satisfaction? First, don't chase him. Don't send long messages trying to make him understand your worth. Don't ask for closure from someone who never valued you in the first place. Closure comes from within, not from the person who caused the damage. The minute you show him that you're unaffected, that you don't need explanations, that you're completely fine without him, that's when he starts to feel the real loss. Next, don't engage in games. He might try to provoke a reaction. He might post things to make you jealous, act like he's moved on quickly, or even reach out just to see if you're still emotionally available. But your job? Remain unbothered. Even if it stings, even if you see things that hurt, remind yourself that your worth is not tied to his validation. The more you ignore his attempts to get a rise out of you, the more he realizes that he no longer has any control over you. Then elevate yourself. Focus all of your energy on becoming better, stronger, and happier than ever before. Work on your goals, upgrade your lifestyle, and step into the best version of yourself. When you walk into a room, let your energy be so radiant, your confidence so unshaken, that he can't help but notice. And the best part, by the time he realizes what he lost, you'll be so far ahead that he won't even be a thought in your mind anymore. And finally, move in silence. You don't need to announce your growth, your happiness, or your success. Let your actions speak for themselves. When he sees that you are living your best life, when he realizes that he was just a passing phase in your story, that's when the regret kicks in. Because nothing is more powerful than a woman who refuses to look back. At the end of the day, the best revenge is not anger, not revenge, and not trying to make him miss you. The best revenge is simply becoming the woman he never thought you could be without him. And that is something he will never get the satisfaction of knowing he still has control over.